Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Okay, let's continue. Body parts. 指 is today's character because recently we talked about the hand as fingers. Today we're going to talk about toe. And this toe has an interesting evolution history. As you can see, 2,000 years ago, it looks purely as such. But eventually, somebody added this part. That means the whole foot. So you have the foot and you have actually the stopping sign over there. Okay, the stopping sign in ancient Chinese like this. Finally, I got the story right, or according to scholars' version of understanding, because at the beginning I thought this is a visual depiction of how our foot anatomy looks like. This is the arch of your foot or the sole of your foot, the big toe, pinky toe, the rest of the toes. It looks happen to look like a cactus. It could be, still could be, but scholars like to embed more meaning to what originally is. It could just start as a visual representation of the physical world, but scholars say here is it looks like a plant because here we're using the power of the plant being planted somewhere, meaning it has this root down below the ground so that the plant, upright facing plant, are not going to be easily broken or moving in space. Therefore, this character, this plant looking foot symbol, actually means you're firmly planted in your place. You're not going anywhere. You stopped. So that's ancient Chinese stop sign. And so after adding the foot symbol, you see have the same structure, exactly the same, but repeated twice at the bottom of it. So that itself in ancient times, actually, this stop sign came from the whole foot symbol because it definitely have the sole and the toes of the foot. And then this top box is the kneecap. The kneecap on top of it, of course, anatomy wise, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, I mean, kind of makes sense, but not 100% realistic because your kneecap do locate above your foot, but it's not connected to your middle toes like that, right? So in that sense, it's not realistic, but location-wise, it's correct. In any case, this character, this toe character, right now in contemporary Chinese is specifically means the toes, individual 5 toes on each foot, even if it's later made concept. And I guess compared with fingers, toes are not as important or distinctive or like to our awareness to the extent that language need to capture this body part early on, because compared with fingers are we use to interact with the physical world, right? Handwork of any sort, farm work, all involves the certain dexterity, certain hand use, versus toes are not as distinctive. Like we don't really know the function of toes besides part of walking, running. And so it was in that way understandable that probably we have hand and fingers way before toes. And eventually this was made probably later on when we already have a good vocabulary of different body parts. And then people start to look at toes. Okay, we need to represent that as well. Okay, so that's 趾高气扬. Okay, before I prepare for this episode, I don't even look into what 趾高气扬 is. Because it's just part of my vocabulary. I have learned 趾高气扬 and read about it 1,000 times. And I never thought individually because 高 and yang, 高 means high, yang means upward swing. That already gives you the motion. And 趾高气扬, I learned it in the context. I didn't learn it by unpacking each individual words, how that make the meaning. In aggregate 趾高气扬 means somebody who is very arrogant and uh, shows this 高气, this air of snobbish almost, right? It's looking down on people, doesn't respect you that much. And Chinese, when you look at this individual character, why toe? Like, what does toe has to do with how arrogant you are? Like a body language, do you really read somebody's toe expression? But okay, here, toe high. Okay, I guess for us to understand the body language there, this 趾高 probably do mean somebody who place their feet, therefore their toe high up, propped it somewhere, right? On a desk or somewhere. Um, this probably is a later invented expression that desk and chairs already exist. That somebody placed their otherwise grounded body parts, right? Any body parts that all the time in touch with the ground would be your toes. But in this case, the toes is placed up high. So it's not a natural position of your toe, right? That in itself is body language that probably would draw attention to yourself and then expressed by your air upward swing or spread it out. So you have, I guess Chinese have this good observations of invisible part of our air, our vibe, our energy. And in this expression, even if it means somebody's arrogance or some body language that shows you're not respecting people, if you do respect, you are going to be grounded. You're going to be down to earth, right? That's the English expression to say somebody who stay humble, true to their root, doesn't have their toes up high there. But Chinese describe the opposite of this anti-grounded. Obviously, you're not grounded, your toes up high. And then the air is kind of abstract. It's not something that's you can draw it out. You can only feel it in the same space of that person. And when you know somebody walking to the room, kind of sending the energy, kind of not in a exactly threatening way, but unfriendly way, kind of a narcissist way in a sense, then you probably can use this expression on that person. 趾高气扬. Okay. 指踵相接. Turn out, okay, both of them share the same body parts, which is the whole foot in here. Then you have the 指 means the toes, 踵 means the heels. Toe heel 相接 mutually link. 指踵相接 means it's a high traffic, high density foot. Imagine New York city scene in major crossroads when the pedestrians are crossing streets, and that level of density of how your toes may step onto somebody's heel. I'm pretty sure such accident happen a lot in such a high density, high speed, fast moving pedestrian traffic flow. It will happen, but that's the scenery. It's described in this in this expression. And I know Chinese probably right now is the number one population, most dense population on Earth as a country's borderline. But well, I'm actually not sure if this is the most dense populated country because there are a huge, vast piece of land on the west side of China because of higher elevation. It's less farming friendly, so it's way less populated. But as I grew up in China, this 直踵相接, high pedestrian traffic flow, is definitely part of everyday scene almost, especially if you go to some major shopping area, especially if you go out on holiday. There were this national holidays installed, so everybody take their time off, synchronized all together. And you can imagine people who try to get up get out, get away, go some places. They're going to go to the same kind of places all at the same time. And so that's the scenery you're going to see, 直走相接. You're not really seeing much of the scene. You're seeing the back side of somebody's head. Okay, so 指甲,指甲, pronounce exactly the same. But one is fingernail, one is toenail, and 甲 means the nail thing. And then here we have both ends of your limbs shown here. The finger we talked about and the 指 we talked about today. So there you go, toes. Thank you for your time. See you another day.